This is the second problem that we did on Thursday, September 24th. And we want to draw a spiral with multicolored arms, okay? And this is what we want to end up with. And if we zoom in on this, I'm going to see if I can, let's maybe center it. And let's try zooming in a little bit more. And what you can see is that the line gets a little bit longer every time. And it also looks like we are turning a little bit, it's kind of hard to tell if we're doing a little more than 60 or a little less than 60. I was going to say a little more, but because the lines get longer, I can't really tell for sure. I think I'm turning a little bit more than 60 because if we look at these lines here, it's wider here and it's narrower down here, so that makes me think that we're doing a slightly smaller angle. So we'll try an angle of 59, an angle of 61 every time we turn. And it's also not clear how many pixels we're adding on. We'll try adding on 1 pixel every time and see how it looks. Okay, so we need to start off with the length of a side. We'll start off with a small number like 10 pixels. And I hate that. Okay. And then what we do is we want to, I think I said, do something 200 times. So for I in range 200, what I want to do is I want to decide what color the line is going to be, set the pen color to that color, and then I want to move forward a certain amount. And then I want to turn, and I said I'm going to turn 61 degrees. Okay, so I've got to set my t dot color. Actually, I need an if statement to decide what color, because I've got 6 choices here. So let's do that first. And what I want to do is every 6th time, or every time I want to change a color, but every 6 I want to start repeating again. And if we look back over here at the instructions, it says, lines 0, and if you add 6, add 6, add 6, add 6. So every 6th one is going to be red, every 6th one is going to be purple, every 6th one is going to be blue, and so on. And, if my counter is going from 0 to 199, if I take 0 and divide it by 6, I get 0 for remainder. If I take 6 and divide it by 6, I get 0 for remainder. So these numbers all have 0 for remainder when you divide by 6. These numbers all have 1 for remainder when you divide by 6, and so on. So let's go back over here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to check to see I is our counter. And so if I mod 6 is equal to 0, then we're going to set the color to red. And that's a string. Else if LF is equal to 1, we're going to set the color to purple. And we set the color to blue. And do green. And if it's none of those, the only possibility left is if the remainder is 5, and so I don't need to do an LF, I just do an else, and I'm going to set the color equal to orange. Okay. Now that does not set the turtle's pen color. I still have to do t dot color and use my color variable to set the color. And then I have to have the turtle move forward, so t dot fd, and it's going to be the length of the side. And then before I do this again, I want to do side equals side plus 1. And I got to figure out a way around that. I'm supposed to hit the space afterwards, but I'm not used to doing that. And then the last thing we want to do is we want to have t dot, doesn't matter if we go left or right, I'll do left. and we're going to do 61 degrees. Okay, and I'm thinking we're good here. Let's see. Oh, it doesn't like a blank line with anything on it except nothing on it, basically. Down here, it doesn't want 3 lines in between stuff. If you put 2 lines in between, you're okay. Let's try and run this now. We don't need to get any input from the user. It's going to do the same thing every time. Let's go ahead and run it, and let's see what we get. Okay, and that is similar to the one that I did before, except I think I must have turned right on the other one. And I also, it looks better, I think, if we have our, we set our background color to black. And I'll make the pen a little fatter too, so T dot pen size. And we'll make it 2 pixels, okay? So let's give it another try. See, and let's try turning right this time. We'll see if we can make it look just like the one in the handout. And I did it again. I forgot to quit this one. Okay, so now I got to restart again, and let's wait for it to restart. And okay, we're good. Let's go. And that looks pretty good. That is almost exactly what we had on the handout. So if you want to repeat something at intervals, this is the way you're always going to do it. That's what this mod operator or remainder operator is good for. So if my intervals are 6, I'm going to divide by 6 and take the remainder. I always get a number from 0 through 5. And if I want to do something 7 times, then I just divide by 7 and take the remainder. And so this is a common pattern. If you want to repeat something at regular intervals, you take some kind of a counter variable. In this case, our counter variable is I. And you divide it by the number of intervals, you take the remainder, and then you make a decision based on what the remainder is. So that takes care of the second problem from last Thursday.